Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
First world, come in and take a seat. Pay us no attention, it's all conspiracy. We have satire and parody, some funny, some perverse. If none of it's offensive to you, you'd be the first. kill till I die. And kill till I die.
The Madness Comic Network and Comic Related Madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. It is not Tuesday, and it is not 11 a.m., but here we are. I'm Laurie Calcaterra. I'm the hostess with the mostest for the Tuesday Morning Brew here on Thursday evening. I am the writer-creator of Path of the Pale Rider, and I have a very special guest tonight. This show just couldn't wait. So I want to bring on my very special guest, Mr. William Russell.
Hello, hello. What's up, Lord? Thank you so much for having me. And little Victor.
And hello, Victor.
Say hi. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. He's so cute.
Thank you. Yeah, he's awesome. He's absolutely adorable. I got a little granddaughter too that's a few months old. So.
Ooh, that's such a fun age where you get to love and cuddle and they don't talk back.
Yeah, when they want to be around you.
Right, they actually want to be around you. Exactly.
Right. but yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I am super, super, super excited to get to chat with you about these projects.
Yeah, I know we're both kind of like going along at our own pace and we seem to always line up. And now it's like after we got to meet each other at Cowtown and we're going to be doing some working together, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
I was super excited when Chris was like, hey, you have an opportunity to write something for Psycho Sal. And I was like, amen. I was already reading it. So I was like, yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Because when I talked to Chris about it, I told him I was going to be looking for a writer for issues 4, 5, and 6. And, and I love Chris's writing. I love especially the way he handles Psycho Sal. I don't have to do any hand holding Chris is a great horror writer, great writer in general, but his horror is really good. Yeah. And, so I knew I wanted him on the project. And when I went to him and I told him about it, I was like, I need you to understand this is going to be a little bit different project than, as far as I know, has never been done. And
I haven't heard of anybody doing things your way either. So
yeah. And when I explained it to Chris, he was saying, he's like, holy hell. He's like, yeah, I've not seen that done. And for the viewers who may be unaware what I'm talking about is Psycho Sal's about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. And we are completely throwing the whole genre of horror and especially serial killers on its head. And we're approaching it a little different. So with the first run of the book is 9 issues. But on those 9 issues, the first 3 books were written by Chris. And they are told from the perspective of the FBI agents working the murders. And on issues 4, 5, and 6, we're going to be changing that perspective. And now you're going to be following this young lady named Tony through her day-to-day life as you see everything from her point of view and her perspective. And then as we move into 7, 8, and 9, we're going to switch those perspectives again. And you're going to be seeing the world through Psycho Sal's eyes and how he chooses victims and how he sees, this interaction that he's having with people. But to help sell that, like I said, we could have easily done it with the same writer all the way through. But at the very core of it is every single writer approaches stuff differently and they tell it in their own way. I mean, I can sit there no matter how many notes I give of important things I need to transpire. They still tell it in their own energy, in their own way. And I knew I wanted that to feel authentic instead of just telling people, oh, here you go. And by the way, it's a different perspective. I really wanted to sell that with a new writer. And of course, when I told Chris I was looking for someone, and I'm not trying to, play it off as a sexist thing or anything like that, but I really, really, really wanted the female perspective to be told from a female writer. Right. I'm not saying anyone else couldn't do the job writing, But
it's just a little bit of insight. It's hard to fake certain things. You know what I mean? We do see the world differently. We walk a slightly different path. Not that it says anything about anybody as a writer, but being able to tell Tony's story as a woman, there's things that I might do, you know what I mean? And I went to college and I was that age once. So I completely understand what it's like to be someone that age. So I can bring that authenticity to it.
Yeah, for sure. And
relate to college girls, but probably not.
but yeah, so when Chris mentioned you, he was like, look, dude, he's like, I've got this writer. I need you to take a look at her. And and he sent me or I saw him at a cons where we were talking about it. And he was like, here, let me give you this. And he gave me one of the issues for Perotta. Yeah. And so I read that. And what's up, guys? And, I was like, okay, all right, I definitely want to get her on it. And then, of course, we had that meeting, at one of the cons. We chatted a little bit there. And then, not too long ago, we had that official, hour and a half or whatever phone meeting. Yeah, exactly. Cool. And listening to you as I was telling you where this thing is going and the key points that I need to have met in the book. And then having you not only, recognize what I'm trying to do there, but come back with it with your own ideas and your own energy and let's try this and let's try this. And that's what I want. I don't want to handhold anybody, whether it's another cover artist. I want to be able to give you the basis of what I'm trying to do and let you roll with that. So.
Yeah, I wear a badge of pride on my chest because I think I was one of the only people that could take Chris Hayes by surprise with my script where he was like, oh, you did what? And I was like, ha, 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 ha. So I think that's what got him, on the Laurie train, hey, I got a new writer.
Yeah, I do. And that's what I want. Because like I said, even though we're telling this story and it's this different perspective, Psycho Sal's also, he's not your mama serial killer. He's not the normal serial killer that we've seen not only in real life, but in movies. He is 100% a unique beast to himself. He does not fit into any profiles. He does not hunt according to sex or color or financial background or anything like that. Anyone can be a victim. And for me personally, I think that makes it super terrifying because with Psycho Sal being the way he is, and the book is a bit of a whodunit kind of storytelling. And the readers are constantly, I still get PMs to this day of people trying to tell me, is it this guy? Is it this girl? Is it this person? Like people trying to figure out who the killer is. And that's what we wanted because we want to break that mold and we wanted to create this sense of dread and fear that to where you could be standing in a grocery store and that type of serial killer could be standing right next to you. Oh, thank you, Cameron, for the link.
Thank you, Cameron.
I think I heard Shelby. For those that don't know, my grandson's with me. I unexpectedly picked him up from daycare. Hold on one second. Shelby? Yeah. Okay. Let me tell my grandbaby bye-bye real quick. And I'm so sorry, but I got to tell him bye. Give me 1 second.
So here's the link. This is Kickstarter number 3. It's kicking butt and taking names, seriously right now. Here, let me bring it up so you guys can see it. Share screen. Here we are. 19 days to go. It's 500% funded, which is amazing. 75 backers, 5,000 into. We broke 5,000. I've been watching real close. So here it is, people. That's where that link takes you. We're going to dive into this a little bit later and kind of go through awards and all the good covers and all of that stuff. But I first wanted to chat, with us two together, but there it is. We'll get to look at it. I promise.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for it. Like I said, it's and the fans have eaten it up. When we did the first Kickstarter, horror genre is already a tough genre to do.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a smaller niche market, and writing superheroes is easy. Writing TNA books is easy. Sorry to break anybody's hearts out there, but
it's true.
Easy.
It's true. Sex sells.
Yeah, it does. And I don't blame nobody for playing the game.
It's not even that it's hard. It's more difficult to do it right in horror. It's like you have to have the timing. You have to have you have to build up the scary parts that are nothing, and then the scary parts that are something, and you got to have that twist at the end. So that's like I got to have like character development. I got to have an interesting, entrance. There's got to be some kind of action. And then I got to leave them with like something crazy at the end. So if you like that formula, that's what we're doing next.
Yeah, exactly. And fans for horror are way more critical and can be cruel, crueler than superhero. Like it's amazing. Like you can sit there and write and draw some dude flying through the air, shooting lasers out his eyes, and nobody blinks an eye, and they're like,
awesome. Like, this is fine.
But you start writing horror and drawing horror, and you do something a little out of the norm, and you'll get, that's not possible. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you were just reading Superman, man. Come on. But
artistic liberty. I mean, can't our characters be super powered or supernatural?
Exactly. So it is a tough market. But yet, even as a smaller niche market, not your traditional superheroes or supervillains, and then as a brand new creator, I mean, the first Kickstarter did, I think it was like almost 6,800 or something on the first Kickstarter, and
of course he does. Are you silly? Yes. Anyway,
I've got a more frequent Kickstarter than anyone else out there. For the most
I think you do. I can't keep up quite with you. You're gonna, because I'm on number 3 as well, but I think you're gonna be doing 4, 5, and 6 before I finish. So
yeah. My rate I'm trying to do is like we mentioned earlier. I'm trying to do it to where we have the Kickstarter, then it ends, we fulfill, and then like that following month, about a month from the day it closes, I'm trying to do it to where we have an issue in the next Kickstarter within 30 days to 40 days.
That's awesome. If you can if you see this man doing that, that's amazing. That's unheard of in indie. And it thanks to you guys, that support that he's getting is what helps keep that pace. So as long as we keep supporting the comic and keep supporting Psycho Sal, William will be able to do that. But again, don't be mad if there's like a printing issue or a timing issue. Those are things that he can't control. We can't control those. But still, it's like, I'm amazed at doing a Kickstarter every other month. I can't even imagine that. That's
it's definitely tough. I mean, now I do mine a little different, and most of Charter does it this way too. And I love that concept. Now it does scare me that we might spoil people to that, because for those who don't know, normally the norm with Kickstarters is people when they kick off their Kickstarter, they may only have one cover drawn and maybe 2 or 3 pages of the book done, just to show you guys this is what it's going to look like. I mean, a lot of people do need the money from the Kickstarter to make theirs possible, and that's okay. I totally understand that. I'm paranoid of being late on stuff. So exactly. I figure I'll sleep enough when I'm dead. But I try to have the book like 100% complete before the Kickstarter starts.
Yeah.
So I've already hired the artists, the writers, the etc. All that stuff. The lettering's done. Like by the time the Kickstarter goes live, it's like 98, 99% done, if not 100. But that's also because of the people I choose to use on my team. They treat my product as if it's their own. Like I can't brag enough about Chris Hayes and McLean McGuire and Marcelo and his team for doing the interior panel pages, etc. All the guest artists that I bring on to do the book, they all bring their A game. So it's and they get it done, and that's what you got to have to be able to keep that momentum going. But you're 100% right, though. Even though I may be doing that, I still need to try to recoup the money that I've already spent.
I know, and it can be tricky at times depending on if there's other things going on.
Yep, that's true.
So, I mean, a lot of people don't understand the behind the scenes.
It's so much work.
So there's so much more going on than people are aware a lot of the time.
So I'm hoping I don't spoil people that, too much or anything.
Because I know, because what's going to happen if they're like, I can't do the thing that I want to do because of whatever XYZ that came up, and they're gonna be like, no, like we want our issue, we want it now.
Yep. Like I even got a little stressed on issue number 2 because we had a printing issue. And they had a machine go down or something, and they had to wait for a tech to come out and fix it, which took a few days. So
I was like, for my books, we were we were printing right around the same time, and mine were printed, but they're somewhere. Supposed to be getting them. Hopefully, I'm hoping McLean gets them tomorrow.
Awesome.
We had Saturday,
we had a little delay on some foils that had to be redone that's going out to a retailer. For a retailer exclusive. So we're hoping that was supposed to be shipped, I think, this past Saturday or Monday. What's up, everybody? There's no doubt about it. I'm super proud of my fans. I'm super protective of them. I'm super proud of them. They jump on pretty much everything I touch, and I'm so grateful for that because without them, and I don't know how the hell artists or creators in general lose sight of this.
Yeah.
If you don't have your fans, you don't have nothing. I mean, they are the bread and butter.
That about horror, that once you do it right and people know what you're capable of bringing to the table and they want to see the story unfold, they are like ride or dies. You know what I mean? I have my ride or dies as well because my story is just now like getting some recognition and like, oh, this is different, right? So once people find that out, it's like, ooh, you get your people that are like, I need to know what happens next, William. I need to know what happens next, Laurie. And it's like, it's coming. Just stay along for the ride. I promise you we'll get there. Like, it's a fun ride. Like, I love every single issue, but the further we go, it gets crazier. And I know your story's that way too, because I got to read 3. I'm not spoiling nothing.
Not to mention, what's going. The twists that are coming with 4, 5, and 6 too.
Of course, because I created them. Well, you and I did it together. I was like,
no, trust me. Like, guys, I'm no writer on any form of the level. I write down my notes in my shitty ass handwriting about the key points that I need to happen and the twists that I want to happen. These guys have to fill in the other, 85, 90% of the words that are on that paper. Because I am not going to front in the slightest. I can't write. Period.
I got some good stuff coming. We'll just say that. Like, even from page 1, Crystal's like, oh, damn. I went there. I did the thing.
And that's what we want. We want people to read the book and they crave the next one. But we want people to read the book and be uncomfortable. This is not a superhero book. This is not a villain turned good guy book. I mean, this book is meant to throw back to old school horror, make you nervous, make you paranoid, like you're looking in your closet, you're looking in the backseat of your car.
That number 3, I was just like, oh, damn. Every time I would like turn the page, I was like, oh, God. It was like, and as a woman, when you're reading it, you're like, ooh, it's just like extra creepy. So it's really good, people. It will get you uncomfortable. But that's what it's supposed to do, right? I mean, it's horror.
I mean, not to mention also, I'll be doing a cover for your book here soon also.
Oh, for your people that don't know me and what I do, I also write a comic book. It's a horror Western apocalypse. We just took all the genres and put them together. There's some sci-fi, there's a little bit of everything. But like in my book, it's 10 years into the apocalypse. Death has been broken. There's no like death anymore. It's just decay. So your body can die, but your consciousness doesn't leave it. You're stuck in there. So you get to experience your own decay phase. Hello, Danny Gibbons. How are you? So people's brains are literally rotting in their skulls. So 10 years, when we start the first issue, we're 10 years into the apocalypse. Things have kind of like devolved back to the Wild West. So we still have like cowboys, but modern technology in some places. So something happened to break death. And this cowboy is like the last guy out there still looking for the answer. So we have a lot of fun too. We're pretty gory. Issue number 1, we got this giant undead bear named Big James because it's not just people that this affects, it's death is gone. So animals, insects, people, nothing can really die fully. It's just decay. We're all decaying together. It's gross. Yeah, so there's conspiracy theories. We do lots of crazy stuff too. I don't even know if William knows all of it, but so like
no, because I need to get the other issues of the book.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've had some, but I'm still waiting. But like we do riddles too. So on the back cover of every issue is a riddle that you can solve, and it takes you to some place in the real world. Issue number 2, the riddles in sign language, so you have to actually decipher the sign language to find out the riddle, and then you have to answer the riddle and email me the answer, and then it triggers something to happen. You actually get to interact with one of the characters from the story.
Very cool.
Short films. We do fan interactive short films. So if that's your thing, we did like a conspiracy theory one. Chris Hayes was in it. I got that's the one in my commercial where I like got ran over by the car at the end.
Yeah.
So we have fun. We have a lot of fun stuff. So I'm super excited for your cover.
Yeah, I am too, especially the concept too. We she and I chatted about the concept for the cover a little while ago. It's going to be an interesting cover. So,
well, I mean, yeah, because I don't do anything unless it's fun.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing with these things, man. Is having a great time with them. Put out proper, material in a timely manner. I totally understand these things take time, and if you're not lucky enough to be able to fully fund your book before it ever goes into Kickstarter, that means things are going to take even longer to have happen. And people have to be patient. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't waiting no damn 2 years, 3 years for a Kickstarter.
2 years? That's way too long.
Somebody give me my money back. So
yeah, 2 years is way too long.
But, Kickstarter from start, to that 6 month range, give or take, maybe a little longer, that's not unusual. So just always make sure people be patient. If you're a retailer, especially for you retailers, because I know a lot of you guys are used to getting your shit immediately, and that's not how it works with the Kickstarter. You have to wait. You have to wait for the Kickstarter in. You have to wait for the book to go to print. You have to wait for there to be no printing issues. Then we have to get the books in, which have to be shipped to us. We have to quality control them, check them after we get them. Then we have to sort them, and that's the Kickstarter books. The retail exclusives don't get printed till after those get printed.
Right. Well, sometimes they can print at the same time, but still, it's like I'm not focusing on selling things or going to cons with those until my Kickstarter people are happy. Yeah, that's what I want.
We don't do it that way because we avoid that chaos because this is what our verbal and our written contracts are. When we do a retailer exclusive, I did 2 of them for issue number 1. I did 3 for issue number 2. I think we're doing a couple for this one. But so the way we do ours is you're welcome to do one. We give you special pricing to do the books, and then you keep the profit on them. And usually my books sell out for the most part when it comes to retailer exclusives. Knock on wood to the awesome fans. Whether it's me doing the cover or some other artist that they're having do the cover. As long as you know what you're doing and you're promoting proper. But so during the Kickstarter, our retailers, again, whether they use me or they use a different artist, they can't do a cover reveal on their book till the Kickstarter's over. Then as far as pre-sales are concerned, they can't pre-sale the book until the Kickstarter's over. Then when the book goes to print, their books are printed after the Kickstarter. Because if it is not for the fans buying and investing into the Kickstarter, there would not be a book. And I refuse to not allow the backers who made it possible get their books first.
I agree. I 100%
that's how we avoid that chaos. But it is, like I said, it's a process, and you have to be patient. You have to be understanding. This isn't like we call up Diamond and say, "Hey, I need this book," and then when FOC goes up, and then a week later we have it in our comic shop. That's not how it works.
No.
So, so key.
That's how we wish it would work. Like, hey, I got more copies of this. Can you get them to me by tomorrow or next week? Hey, great. Thanks.
Yeah,
bye.
exactly.
Like,
so that's all that matters. Just patience. That's all it is. Now, again, don't get me wrong. A year plus 2 years is ridiculous.
That's too much. Too much.
But
I think mine is taking as Hades would say, it was taking a bloody long time. But because I'm stuck in the printing, there was printing delay. but our book was technically done in January. So our first goal was end of December, which it was done in black and white.
Right.
And then I okayed the color, even though we didn't quite hit that stretch goal to do color. I just wanted to see it in color. So I pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
So it took Marco like 3.5 weeks, like not long, to color the entire issue from start to finish, right? And so everybody got the PDF copy by the end of January. And here we are. It's March 9th.
Yeah, like and that's what people have to remember too, is when you're dealing with the print thing, even if nothing happens, you still have to wait your turn in the queue. Yep. Those guys are not sitting behind their desk, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for us to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, here's my book." Oh, okay, and I can jump up. That's not how it works.
Okay, I got it right now. Like that's
I don't know.
You're already like 15 behind, right?
Yeah. There could be 10 projects in front of me. So that's why we don't give hard deadlines. We give people a roundabout idea when the book is supposed to go to print. But again, even on that, just be patient because they are coming. Same thing with the retailer exclusives for Kickstarters. Be patient. No one is trying to stop you from selling your book or stop you from putting our book on the shelf. We want it out there, regardless of whether we did the artist or someone else did it, did the art rather. We want it out there. We want you guys to be exposing us to your store. Show me, man. Show me what's in the box. But
what's in the box?
It's crazy, man. You just gotta be patient, man, and you'll learn. Some people you can work with, some people you can't. And and that's okay. That's just life. And but all you can do is just move on to the next project, live and learn from certain scenarios that happen, and just put your best foot forward. And the most important thing is, of course, stay communicating with everyone too. That's super important too.
Yes. Because if there's a delay, sometimes you there's nothing you can do. But as long as you keep everybody informed of what's going on, like I usually talk to my backers at least once a week, even into fulfillment, where I'm like, okay, everybody got their PDF, or okay, look at this new cover, or okay, we're prepping for the next issue, like okay, books have been printed. Like I keep them, they all know as long as they check their emails, they know what's going on. Because I'll still get those random people like, did you ship my book yet? And I was like, I just put out a thing yesterday that gave everybody an update. But here's what's going on,
It could have went to their spam folder. It's buried in just not everybody checks their email every day. Not everybody checks their
I've had a ton of Kickstarters. So I'm not gonna lie, when I get a bunch of updates, I'm like, great, delete.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too, for you, anybody who backs Kickstarters, for the love of God and all that's holy in the world, please make sure you fill out your surveys when the Kickstarter ends. Because if I ship your books out to an address that you have on file because you didn't fill out your survey, and it automatically generates whatever is connected to that bank card or that credit card, whatever. When I ship your books, if it goes to your ex's house or it goes to somewhere you lived 2 years ago, there's nothing I can do about it.
Right? Oh, who did that? Who's this?
He hit his name. But because going to your local post office and doing a change of address will not fix that.
Nope. So if it's there already, there's nothing we can do.
Nothing, man. and when we print
it got to where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, and when we print these books, we print just what the order is for the Kickstarter. Like we're not sitting over there with 10 copies of each book extra in case something happens. So please do the surveys. It takes 2 seconds to do it, man.
Hey, let's go through this guy.
Yeah.
Do this one. Pull it over.
Yeah, we still got 19 days to go, and we're over $5,000 already.
I was like, you're like, when you stepped up to walk away, I was like, you're 500%.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, the fans do. They are eating Psycho Sal up, man, and I'm so proud of that. And I mean, also, I approach the guest artists a little different too. I pick out the ones that I want to be on the project, the ones that I really want to see them do. But I always have 2 spots on every single project that I set aside for a specific thing. One is I pick someone whose style is completely different than mine or anyone else that's on the book. I've done that on all 3 Kickstarters. Then the other thing I do is I find that one person who I see on, whether they're on my friends list or I just see them posting in groups, where I look at their page or I see their posts and they're constantly posting art, but they may not have no published covers.
You know what's funny? I do the same thing. So I'll have like the comic book professionals, right? Yeah. Like yourself, David Sanchez, you know what I mean? Marco DeFillo. Yeah. Like, those are my 3 covers, like people who are comic book people. But then I have 2 covers by I have a graphic design guy who does his comic, but it's not like it's not out yet. And then I have another guy that's an illustration teacher. He's a high school teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, amazing covers.
That's giving back, because at some point you haven't done it. Someone gave you an opportunity. So you got this platform, and I don't have the largest platform by any means, but I've got a very rabid platform. So I've got a very loyal fan base and a very supportive fan base. So, I'll share that out, and, I'll look at their Facebook page, because here's the thing. I get PMs all the time. Hey, can I do a cover for Psycho Sal? Can I do the next cover? Can I do this? And if I look at, I'm proud that you want to do that, and I appreciate that. But if I look at your Facebook page and I see more political bullshit, or I see more drama bullshit, or I see any of that stuff other than art, I won't be hiring. I want to hire someone that I don't have to argue with, that I don't have to fight to get deadlines met, that I know live and breathe this, whether you've been in it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or 6 months. So that's why I'll pick out someone who hasn't done it, but yet I look at their Facebook page and they're just constantly putting art out. And then I pick out the key people that I want. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want people to send me their samples. I don't, like, I've had people ask me about, won't you do a contest? First off, I'm going to give you guys a little piece of advice for anybody listening. If you see anyone post up that, hey, here's a contest and first place, we'll put your art on a cover and we send you 1 copy of the book, run from that shit as fast as you can. Excuse my language.
That sounds terrible.
Run. Do not do that. I don't care if you've never done anything. Do not do that. I saw a post about that today from someone else that someone actually tagged me on. And I guess I must have pissed him off, because they tagged me on it. And it was one of those things. Here's a contest for this cover for a book I've never heard of, which means they probably don't have a solid following. Maybe, I don't know. But they had this post up and somebody tagged me on it. And I commented, I said, no, dude, I appreciate the shout out, but I don't do contests. I'm a professional published artist. I work for compensation. So avoid that. But, stick with, continue to send your submissions to people. Like, I want to see your art and things like that. When I make those posts, like, I'm looking for artists for issue number 4 right now. I've got a few already lined up. I'll be reaching out to about another 3 or so. And there's future books coming. I may not can get somebody on this book, but if I got you in mind, I'll definitely put you on one of the future ones. But everybody on this one, they came out the gate swinging. I mean,
I was going to say, I didn't even get that far yet. Look, amazing.
Yeah, I probably do too many damn covers, but
I love them.
I don't know. I like it. I like having the variety.
I love seeing other artists' point of view of my world. That tickles me pink. Like, I love to see someone read my issue and be like, this is what's really cool, and this is the art that I want to represent your world with. And I love it. I love getting variant covers. I mean, people may
a lot of people want to hammer variant covers, and let me tell you something, guys. There's this little trick in the comic collecting world people need to learn. You don't got to buy everything. If you don't like it, leave it alone.
You don't have to.
Because there's 50 variants for one book does not hinder your issue one bit. It doesn't alter your cover one bit. But the great thing about this, whether it's Kickstarters doing variant covers like this, or whether it's retailers doing variant covers, these are avenues that give, veterans, up and coming artists, et cetera, a platform that they could have never had in the past.
Right.
And it's nothing but a win-win. If you don't like it, just don't buy it.
Right.
But it's so. But yeah. If you want to scroll down, I'll kind of chat just real quick about the different cover artists and stuff. And we're about to hit a lot of the go. That's my cover there. Of course, it's a nice little homage to a Batman. I'm a huge Batman nut. The Bat Who Laughs and Batman and so on. So mine was actually an homage to that. Huh?
I see like it's a Batman pose, like standing over Gotham, but it's also like Hush or like Scarecrow. I see all of that in this cover.
Yeah, and that's way this book is slowly turning, because it's gotten to where he's taken a city that was born and bred on its flavor, its culture, its diversity, its melting pot of cultures, and this energy, this liveliness of music and presence and being just this living life to its fullest. I love New Orleans. I absolutely love that city. And he's taken that and he's turned it into a city that is absolutely terrified to go out the front door.
Yep.
So so I wanted to do that with that pose, and it reminds me of the Batman classic poses where he's just standing over Gotham, and that's kind of what's going on with Psycho Sal.
Yeah.
Then the next cover is Monty Anderson, and this is Monty's first published cover.
Really?
This is his first one.
Really?
Dave Kemp did the colors for me on this one. Monty, and see, this is what I like when I talk to Monty, even though he's a relatively newer artist and he hadn't had any published covers, I didn't handhold him. I didn't give him tons of direction. I said, hey, I was like, here's the thing. The artist from this point forward, because we've already got a couple Psycho Sal covers locked in. You can do any of the other characters in the book.
Right.
I told him the main characters, and he said, okay, I want to do them. Then he knew the whole story revolves around this voodoo symbol and things like that. So he went with the whole voodoo shop, like it was in issue number 2. And he did great. Like I didn't have to lead him by the nose. I didn't have to do anything. I gave him that minimal direction, and I think Monty killed it.
I think it looks great. I love how like all the knickknacks, like so much detail and love and forethought went into this cover. The voodoo masks, the stuff, the pendants hanging in the background, all the stuff on the shelves. You know what I mean? It's like, and then you have your officers in there, they're FBI special agents, and then the people. It's like that draws your eye right in. Amazing.
And he's got his own unique style too.
Yeah.
It fits in the American style detail, but it's his own flavor. I think for his first damn published cover and all the pressure that goes on you as a first time cover artist, I think he did incredible. I think he did great.
I'm gonna switch us.
Absolutely.
There we go.
And then on the next cover, that's DJ Hall. DJ Hall absolutely killed his cover too. Again, another example. He was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "Dude, you're the artist,
right?
I was
what
like,
do you want to do?
You do your thing." And that's what he came up with. And I love the red and the blues and everything mixed into it. I love the fact. Yeah, exactly.
Almost, it's like what's that movie? Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, love them colors.
Yeah, DJ did a great job on it. Like I said, no hand holding. I just gave him a basic, these are the characters you can use, and you just do your thing. And that's what I want. That's what you need to be as an artist, because you're going to have some people that try to hand hold you, and I can't stand that shit.
I don't like doing that either. I'm just what do you think?
The creativity. Yeah, you do. You strangle the creativity when you do that.
Yeah.
But I don't mind a little hand holding, like, okay, I need it like this or I need it like this. But when you start telling people how to tweak poses and move an arm and all of this is insane.
And it's like, who's the artist, me or you? What are you paying me for?
Exactly.
Ooh,
I charge extra for hand holding. There you go. We'll just start doing that. We'll charge extra for hand holding. And then this is Marcelo. Marcelo does the interior panel pages and stuff for me. He did a cover on issue number 2, and I brought him back to do a cover for issue number 3, and I think again, absolutely did a great cover.
Beautiful. I love
And
it.
that's another example.
Yeah, just like the juxtaposition of like Psycho Sal and the blood running down. They're looking at this body, which is of course his fault. So it's like, ugh, creepy, but I like it. It's like autopsy.
Yeah, Marcelo's a good one. Like I said, he does the interior page, panel pages for me and stuff.
Yeah.
He's actually, because of my time crunch with, I've had with the first part of this year, I've got, was it 5 covers that I'm doing in 2 months?
Yeah.
I couldn't even do the splash pages on this one. So I told Marcelo, I was like, hey, bud,
Wow.
I was like, I'm not even going to have time to do the splash pages. So I need you to do the splash page in the book
Yeah.
too. Because on issues 1 and 2, I did the splash pages for those. There's like 2 to 4 splash pages in each book. And I was like, I can't do it, man. I was like, I got so much going on. Then I got 3 appearances in March. I was like, I just don't have time, man. And he tackled it. And then of course, like I said about, I bring on someone who has a completely different style than me for every single project. And Steph Wilson, him and Carrie Ann, she does the colors for him. Absolutely killed it. And it's completely different than, in my opinion, I could be wrong. If Steph is here, he could correct me on this if I'm wrong. I think this is completely different from anything Steph has ever done. Because it's always very sexual. It's always very playful and things like that with his covers. And I think this might be the first time I've ever seen him do a cover that is, while it still has the sex appeal to it with his style, it's very serious.
Yeah.
And I love the map in the background.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. So I don't know if Steph is still here. Probably not. He probably bounced. But if he is, like I said, he could correct me if I'm wrong on that. But I think it is, and he absolutely killed it.
This does look different to me than most of his stuff as well. I think it's the map that really does it. It's like the blues versus the red and orange, and makes just everything pop.
Yeah, but I mean, even the way he did the characters, like I said, even though he kept that essence of sexuality that he does with characters. Like it's still like you look at it and you don't go, oh, that's hot. Like you look at it and you go, oh shit, they're serious. Like,
they're pensive, they're thinking.
Exactly. And that might be the first dude Steph's ever drawn. I don't know.
He looks really good.
But like I said, I think he killed it. And then of course, the great Tone Rodriguez, probably one of the sweetest dudes in the industry. Absolute cool dude. He did a retailer exclusive back on issue number 1 for Gabe's Caves Comics and Collectible, and that cover killed it. And then he came back. I told him, I was like, I got to have you on the actual Kickstarter. And he was like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, dude, you're Tone. You do Psycho Sal. I want you on Psycho Sal, and you just do whatever. And then he just came back with this, this harsh red cover with the streaks of the white rain and everything, and the glint on the blade, and I was like, holy hell, that's awesome.
This is the one that I backed because I was like, holy crap. Like,
it
just is so standout-ish, you know what I mean? Just like a complete red tone. And then just the 2 different colors of red and the light. That's all it is. It's so simple and so powerful.
Yes.
It's just amazing. I wanted that one. So.
Yeah, because I mean, if you if you look at the semblance of it, one of the other things that Psycho Sal does is every time he places his victims for the public to find, it's always done during a thunderstorm. It's pouring down rain, so it helps hide who he is and things like that. There's less people out and about that could spot him. Then you got the Mother Nature washing most of the evidence, if any, away. But it's that claustrophobic feel that if you've ever been caught in an actual rainstorm where you can't see 2 feet in front of you at night and you're having to walk down a street, and I've had that happen to me before, and it's a very kind of a stranglehold kind of feeling that it gives you, and I think Tone absolutely killed it with that, because I mean, it just, you just think about that being in that scenario, and then this person just walks out on you. I mean, that's absolutely terrifying. So yeah, Tone is Tone.
Yeah, that's amazing. Bravo, sir.
And then that hard work on that blank, you know, that was tough work right there. You know, that white background, that was hard to do right there. You know, that's the Invisible Man making an appearance.
This one is priceless, people.
That's right. And we did add-ons. We've got issue number 1 and 2 on there for a stupidly affordable price. I mean, a lot of kids, and I'm not bashing anyone, because one thing you guys also got to remember with the first Kickstarter, the second Kickstarter, and even the third one, we do something different than most of the Kickstarters out there. It's easy to do $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 Kickstarter if you're doing a cover that's tons of TNA covers or interiors that are TNA. That's easy. You can do that with your eyes closed. It's easy to do those kind of numbers on a Kickstarter when you're doing $30 books and $40 books, et cetera, et cetera. But we were able to do, 68, 6,700, whatever it was on the first one, like 58 or 59 or whatever it was on the second one. And we did all of that off $8 books, $6 books, things like that. That's huge.
That is huge.
People may not realize that, but we try to make it affordable because, like, I've had them ask me, hey, do you want to raise this up? And there's been a couple books I was like, okay, this needs to stay the same, but this needs to raise up a little, because you always tweak as the book becomes more and more popular, because you're bringing in bigger names to do the covers, which costs you more money. So you got to try to recoup that. But we still try our damnedest to make sure the book is affordable for everyone, no matter what their income level is. So that's why we still have some $8 books and then $10 books. I mean, if you'll scroll down, like even, most people on back issues, they're doing $15, $20 issue number 1s and issue number 2s. And we're still doing $8 for those. And that's okay. I'm not bashing anybody that does that. More power to it. But then again, but like on this one, I really wanted to bring in someone that had a massive name to them, not just for the level of the book, but because I've been a big fan of Miko's for a long time. I've met him at several cons. He's one of the nicest people I've met in the industry too, that has a big name. Miko's done covers for Marvel. He's done covers for DC, et cetera, et cetera. Wow. And, I asked him about being on the project. I told him what the book was about. And then I talked to Nelson with BTC and, communicated through that whole thing with them about having Miko on the book. And Miko was gracious enough to say, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I want to do that. And he killed it. I mean, that cover is beyond ridiculous.
Yes.
It's an homage to his Crow cover that he did a while back.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, that makes much more sense now. I was like, I'm seeing something else and I can't place it. And when you're like the Crow, I'm like, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, he tweaked it just a little. But, I explained the story to him last year when I talked to him at Cowtown Comic-Con. And I told him what's going on with, issue number 3 and stuff. And he's like, he told me, he reminded me about his Crow cover, and he's like, man, why don't we do something with the Crow? A little homage to that, and I'll tweak it a little to where it's not exact or anything, but that kind of flavor. And Lord knows I didn't, he hadn't even seen the cover I did yet. And mine was
That's
done.
Funny.
Yeah, we both ended up with him standing perched on this angel.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I was like, I didn't even think about it, because my cover had been done months ago. And then he hadn't even seen my cover, and then he did this one, and I was like, all right, that's cool, man.
Great minds think alike.
yeah. And I mean, you see the price that we did on his trade dress color version. I mean, we did $20. I mean, on most Kickstarters, when someone brings in a big name, that's a $50 book.
Yeah,
but we wanted to make sure people could afford it. I mean, even the print runs are low. And we did a $40 black and white color splash, and I absolutely love that cover. So Miko's just a beast, man. Absolutely.
Still $40. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most Kickstarters have $20, $30, and $40 cover A's. We're over here doing the featured artists, making him affordable. And that's why I tell people, take a look at the all covers package. If you do the all covers package for Miko, scroll up a little. For Miko, you're getting it for $120. Most people sell metal covers for $80 to $100 by themselves.
Yeah, and you're doing his metal cover is included in that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. You get the trade dress, you get the black and white virgin color splash, and you get the metal virgin color all for $120. So technically what you're getting is the regular cover for free.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what you're getting. So, and then we have the all cover package for all the other artists that were on the project. That's 7 covers
For $52. That's insane.
for $52.
Wow.
That's about I think that's about like $14 or something like that off if you bought them individually.
Yeah.
And again, that's doing it at the $8 and $10 prices of the books. We're not charging $15, $20 books for cover A, cover B's, etc. And then we have the Slaughter Pack that was on it, and that's been a huge hit with everyone. So the Slaughter Pack is limited to, I think, like 10. Oh, it's freaking awesome. It is freaking awesome. You got to see it in person. It's so cool.
Yep. It was like, you get the what? It was like you get a rain poncho, fake knives, crime scene tape, and the voodoo card. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's something else we wanted to do that was different. No other Kickstarters have done that. Not that I've seen. So, in that you get all the damn main covers, including the blank. You get an actual police report from one of the murders. You get an actual evidence bag, a legit evidence bag with one of the voodoo cards in it that he leaves at the murders.
Yes.
Then you get one of the different types of knives he uses for torture that's signed Psycho Sal. Then you get actual crime scene tape that was taken, from one of the murders. And then you get Psycho Sal's rain poncho that he actually wears.
Oh my goodness.
Nobody does that. And you get it's like $160 worth of stuff for $100.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, there's no way you're making a profit on this one.
No, it's just for fun. It's just people they'll ask me, you still want to do the Slaughter Pack? I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay. You're not making much off that. No, I'm not.
No.
I was like, I don't care.
I feel you though, because I have a couple of things in mind that it's like it really don't make any money, but I love them. Those Funko Pops that I do, I basically break even on those, but they're so freaking cool that I want them. Right. So it's like we have to limit them, but they're so cool. It's like I'm just gonna keep doing them. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's just it's freaking awesome, man. And and the Slaughter Packs are limited to like 10, and they sold out on every single Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So they do great. It's freaking awesome. And then of course we did the full ads spread in the book.
Oh, cool.
For somebody, so that one's already sold. And of course I've got my original art for my cover on there, cheaper than what it'll cost you anywhere else. So that's the 11x17 original pencils for my cover. And Miko was gracious enough to let us put his original art on the Kickstarter. Now, of course, if someone purchases Miko's original art, that money will go to Miko. That's for him. But he did let us put it on the Kickstarter for like $400 less than what he will sell it after the event. So, I mean, he gave us a great price for the Kickstarter for the fans. So if you're a Miko fan and you want a piece of original art, you better jump on that one.
Get it.
$400 cheaper than what his art goes for.
Wow.
So yeah, like I want it so bad, but I can't pull the trigger on it. I want it so bad.
I know with you, like so many covers that I just want to buy the originals, and I'm like, someday if it's still available, I'll be like, hey, you remember the thing that you did for me? I'm like, can I buy it now?
Because I can tell you, there's no doubt about it. That cover being the way it is, once if nobody does buy it off the Kickstarter, the first big show he goes to, that's gone. Regardless of if people know Psycho Sal or not, that cover is gone. Because there's exactly. That's cooler than polar bears, man.
Polar bears, dingle dangles.
That's what we call them now. Dang it! Now we got a brand new name for them.
Dingle dangle.
That's right. But yeah, that's the way the Kickstarter is. I understand that you're trying to make your money back that you spent, or you're trying to make the money to create it. I get that, but it's got to be fun, man.
You have to. Like, Here, let me hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I have plans for my next Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Of course, it's like right around the corner. So I'm already playing, right?
My plans get way out of hand. Like Chris and them have to reel my ass back in. They're like, dude, you can't do that. You won't make no money off of it.
I cut 2 things out that I wanted to do because they're like, you shouldn't, you know, like you're gonna lose your butt on merch. But I'm like, look how cool these are. I have a Jude St. Clair Funko Pop. I'm getting a special edition Big James Funko Pop. I don't know if you saw the covers I put up earlier that they did with the bear on it.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
With the undead bear.
Okay,
so
now you have to send me the Funko.
Look.
Oh my God, that's freaking out. See, that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun.
So I'll have 30 of these available on my Kickstarter because why not? It's hot sauce.
Exactly. And you're gonna have to send me the contact info for the Funko because I want a Psycho Sal Funko Pop.
Oh yes, you do, and you want my guy because he's amazing. And he usually deals with Bridezillas day in and day out because that's like, you know, what pays the bills is he makes these Funko Pops as cake toppers. So when he gets an opportunity to do something like from a comic book or an original character, he's all about it. So please call my guy. It would make his day to make you a Funko Pop for Psycho Sal.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
In my book, we have these cool, my characters, it's on my shirt too. So it's this thing that my characters wear called a disc. And it's how you tell the difference between your living or undead is you have a heartbeat, right? So I decided to make them and they work. Look, let me turn it on for you. This is when it turns red when you're undead and it stays on kind of like you're flatlining. And I have ordered sound components as well. They're just not here yet. And then this one, look, it blinks green with your heartbeat. So when you're alive, it
I see it. Yeah.
It has your heartbeat. So I might have some of these somewhere on the Kickstarter if you look hard enough, but I think I'm only going to do 4.
Hang on 1 second. I'll show you one.
We're gonna now we're doing the show off show, guys. That's what we're doing right now.
Hang on 1 second.
Having fun. I love it. I should put my link up. Jeez. I'll do that. Hold on, guys. Here's my link.
Yeah, definitely put yours up.
There you are. And if you want to see what I'm working on, I mean, it's just the it just has the whatchamacallit, the pre-launch page, but it's there. You can always go, yes. Now I want to know whose face is he wearing. We'll have to figure that out from reading, you know.
So that's the actual mask that it was based off of.
Yeah. It's someone's face though, right? It's definitely someone's skin that he's wearing. 100%. Yeah. I'd be interested to find out whose skin is he wearing. Maybe I'll read that in.
But yeah, so that's the actual. Now what makes these things really fun is not too long ago I did a raffle giveaway. It was kind of like a slaughter pack, except it had some of the covers in it and stuff, but the box also had an actual Psycho Sal mask in it with the rain poncho, with the knife, so you could actually cosplay him at shows.
That's so cool. I want to cosplay as other people's characters. That would be so much fun. And I've seen pictures of like your fans cosplaying your stuff, which is amazing. I can't wait until someone shows up at like my table dressed as either Jude St. Clair or like somebody from the apocalypse would just make me.
Yeah, and I told people too, like I really want to see it. Like I told people if anybody ever shows up, because the mask itself, you can get it from Spirit Halloween.
Oh.
And this past Halloween, when I went around trying to find some to do these raffle things with the boxes, I went to two Spirit Halloweens in Memphis, Tennessee. They drove into Mississippi, drove all the way down to Hattiesburg to another one, and I only found 2 of those masks out of 3 stores.
Wow.
So they sell stupidly fast whenever they do come around, but you might can get them off their website. I don't know.
Okay.
But anybody who ever comes to my table at a show wearing that rain poncho and that mask, cosplaying Psycho Sal, your ass gets an automatic free sketch at my table.
I was gonna say, I was like, they get free stuff.
$100 head sketch automatically if you show up dressed as Psycho Sal. It's got to be that mask, and it's got to be the black rain poncho. But you show up with either of those, show up with those on, I'll give you $100 sketch at the table.
That's amazing.
No, I want to see it.
Accepted, people. Go get it.
Go chase down Spirit Halloween right now. They might have some on the website. Maybe, I don't know. But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And that's what I love so much about collaborating with like-minded people, is because we're having a fun time. Mm-hmm. We're not in it to make a ton of money. I mean, yes, we'd like to someday, but where I'm at right now, I'm not making money. I'm just having fun, you know, hanging out with you on lives and talking to people about making videos and you know what I mean? Making hot sauce with my damn bear on it.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, I would love to do one of these Kickstarters and it'd be a $20,000, $30,000 Kickstarter. And don't get me wrong, I know I could start slapping TNA covers on these books and it'll do $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 Kickstarter. I just don't want to go that route. And I'm not bashing on anyone that does. It's just that doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm doing. Even though there is some nudity in some of the books, with what's going on, but it just doesn't make sense for the book.
Right, I was going to say, but it's completely different context what's going on in your book.
It ain't naughty time, that's for sure.
Nope, that's not.
And so, as long as the Kickstarters do well, I'm a happy camper. Because I made my mind up from the get-go with Psycho Sal. That was one of the first conversations I had with Chris and McLean. And they were like, okay, well, what do you want to accomplish with the Kickstarter? I was like, I don't give a shit. I was like, the book's going to print one way or the other. That's why I fund it 100% before the books ever goes to Kickstarter, because I've made my mind up about that the book is going to be created. And luckily, thank God, the fans just showed up and showed out and helped me make back what I put into the books, I would love to wake up and sometimes it does make you scratch your head like, damn, what am I doing wrong, man? I do these giveaways and I do this and I do that, and all these people show up for these things like that, and then I do this retailer cover and I do this and then you do something like this and you got the same people, and I'm proud of that, but you're like, how do I get these other people? How do I get them to support it? Especially when you're doing $8 covers and $10 covers, which means it's affordable for everyone. You're like, what do I got to do to get them? Because the sad thing is you can't even get your real life friends and family to back it.
A lot of times, no. A lot of times the people that are showing up and spending the big old bucks are people that you've never met before.
Yeah, most of them you've never met.
But they believe in it. And I do. I break a lot of molds doing what I do, and then on top of that, I'm a martial artist, and I knife fight and sword fight and all this, right? So people just kind of look at me like, there's that black sheep again. I wonder what she's up to next, Yeah. And it's just like, she's crazy. So you don't always get the family buy-in, but I am very lucky. I do have family members that 100%, believe in what I'm doing and support, and I wouldn't be here without them, because
and that's what you got to do. That's what I try to tell everyone. Even if you can't support indie is whether people want to believe this or not, indie is the heart and soul of comics, period.
Yes.
Okay. If it wasn't for the indie mentality, you would have never had Image Comics come along.
Right.
When it comes down to the bottom, at the end of the day, indie is where your heart and soul is with creating comics, because we're not creating comics to get rich. We're not creating comics to make bank every other few months or whatever it is. It's a lot of work on top of all the other work we're already doing. All the other
stuff that's going on in my life and your life and grandkids and kids and everything.
Exactly. We sacrifice personal time with family. We sacrifice personal time with spouses, etc. And again, I'm not bashing what we do. I love what I do.
It's just it's a reality of what we go through.
Yeah, and so we put indie people put everything they have into what they create, and they do it on the faith of themselves, which is scary as hell too. And and then you're putting it on the faith that the people will like what you're doing, which is also scary as hell. So that's why it's so important for you guys. If you have, creator friends on your friends list and they do a Kickstarter, man, even if you jump over and you buy an $8 book or a $10 book, whatever you can afford to do, please, even if it's not your cup of tea, like maybe it's something you'll never read.
You can always give it to somebody too.
Yep,
a friend of mine will always buy one for herself, and she buys an extra one and she'll pick someone to send it to. Which is a huge help, and she's amazing. But again, it's not like she's spending hundreds and hundreds of, but it's another person that she's sending my book to that could be like, this is really cool. I'm on board with this now. So it's just something like that, or share the social media, because a lot of times there's people out there that don't know we exist that would love to be a part of what we do. And if they don't know we're here, they can't back us. And social media
algorithm trash.
The algorithm will crash you, right? The algorithm will be like, ooh, there's a link in here to another website. We're not going to share it. But when everybody else shares it, it can still reach your audience. So it's hard.
Yeah, the sharing is so important. I mean, even if you can't do it financially, for the love of God, what it takes us to do this, please share the content. Because the fans, from start to finish, the fans are what makes this possible. Even me doing this pre-funding, if it weren't for the fans buying the book, I wouldn't be able to keep that up. I'm not filthy rich, or I don't have my OnlyFans page going right now. I'm out of feet pic.
Maybe I'll do feet. I don't know. It's just feet.
Dude, we might well. I'm telling you.
My husband's like, you're going to do feet. That's cool.
I'm like, Jesus, man.
I don't know about that.
And that's why we need you guys as fans, because as a creator, when you sit down and you spend hours on hours doing this.
Stop. Who is this?
I have no clue. We can't see who your name is. But we spend so much time and sacrifice so much to do this, both emotionally, physically, financially, et cetera, et cetera. Don't be telling people where I hide my stash of money. It's in her bosom.
Your fans are funny.
Now I'm gonna get broke into. But the shares is so crazy important. I mean, it really is, because we can only share so much. Yeah. And then the algorithm already buries everyone if you're not. Now, because I can make a political post and that shit will go haywire. Or I can make some opinionated post and it'll go to the high heavens. But it's amazing how this gets buried or this gets ignored when it has to do with this creative stuff. So, it's already tough. And then we have those moments where we'll see, an Instagram video with just insane amount of likes and views just because some idiot stood there and bounced up and down for 10 seconds. And, and we're over here like, Jesus Christ, I just created something from nothing and I can't even get anybody to fart on it.
See,
and,
you can't think this way. It will be for something, if anything, for your own self gratification, to get your story out there. And trust me, there's an audience for everyone. There is. Anything that you're writing, there's someone who wants to read it. So when you put your time and sweat and blood and effort into it, it will be recognized by somebody. And just believe in yourself. And I think the biggest thing that people forget in indie is time. They're like, I want to be at that 10 grand. I want to be at that 20 grand. I want to be at that 40 grand. I started a year ago. I started issue 1, March 2021. People, I got a long way to go before I hit those 20Ks, right?
Yeah.
I had a guest on my show this week, Madeline Holly Rosing, and she does this Boston Metaphysical Society, and she's 6 days in and has 15K. Guess how many years she's been doing this?
Yeah. You can't get it on day one.
So you're not going to be big on day one, but you just kind of like stay in the fight. You got to go
Well,
all around.
The first rule is whether you're creating comics, whether you're drawing, writing, whether you're making music, whatever the hell your passion is. Rule number one is you have to create for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is secondary. So that's why, like with my book, that's why I made my mind up the books would be funded before they ever went to Kickstarter out of my own pocket, because I'm making the book for me. And then I pray that other people appreciate it and they come along for the ride. You'll have to, we can't see your name. So whoever you are,
if you're on Facebook, it just doesn't say who you are.
Yeah. So that way we know,
points.
we can thank you proper, because that's something else we need. When you guys are doing shows and events, talk about the other indie creators that you know. Yeah. Like I said, I know a lot of you don't think it matters, but that word of mouth and that share button that you guys can contribute is so powerful.
We had a great time at Cowtown. Like people were sending, because I wasn't on Artist Alley. I was very new to Charter, and Chris Hay was just kind of like, "Hey, I got an extra table. You want to come?" I'm like, "Yeah," But like, I felt honored. I came over and met all you guys, and there was a bunch of people that were like, "Hey, if you like westerns, go see Laurie on that side. She's got the cowboy hat on. She'll, look at her book." So people were coming over like, "You have one of those books, right, with the cowboy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, who sent you?" So it was huge. It was huge.
And that's what I love about Charter, is because even though they're a label, prior to them doing this label, and if they keep the momentum they're going, I've told Chris several times, there's no way in hell that they can't be the next Image Comics.
Oh, 100%.
There's no doubt in my mind, because of the passion they put into it, the care they put into it, the value they put into everyone's IPs, etc. There's no reason they can't. And I 100% believe they have the potential. But that's what it's about. It's about community. So you guys have heard me say this on other shows, with the platform being so massive, that what social media is, from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc., there is room for everyone at this table. There is no need for petty ass bullshit. There's no need for slandering drama crap. There's no need for any of that. It's okay to share other artists' content. There we go. What's up, brother? It's okay to.
Hey, is that what that is?
It's okay to cross promote. I mean, Jesus Christ, I got a Kickstarter going on right now, and I was sharing someone's Kickstarter just the other day. Yeah. And I've got a Kickstarter going. Yeah. I mean, I've shared other artists on my page. I've talked about them on videos and things like that. And I've had artists send me messages in the past asking me why I was doing that. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, when you do that, you're sending work to someone else that's taken away from you. I was like, I'm not taking shit away from me. No. There's more. I don't give a crap how good I am, or how popular someone is, or how pretty they might be. They're not going to get all the business in the world. And it's weird. Like I've literally had people send me messages saying, you shouldn't do that.
No, and they're not in it for the right reason.
Shouldn't do that.
We want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to succeed. I want everybody to have a place where they can come. And that's why I do my show. Honestly, I love when people come on my show and talk about their comic, or, their publisher, or their new platform, like Global Indie Comic. Yep. Like stuff like that is just like new and cutting edge, and people don't know that there's stuff available. There's a ton of stuff out there, and there's a huge community to help everybody win, because that's what we want, right? We want good comics. We want amazing content, because we're tired of watching freaking prequels and redos and. Yep. I'm sorry, I won't rant.
I'm shocked I haven't went on one of my rants yet.
What is this?
Yeah, exactly. But that's true. And I mean, and that's another thing too. Like for you guys out there that are buying DC, buying Marvel, that's fine. But I'm telling you, if you're not buying popular indie books that you see doing well on Kickstarter, that you see has a solid following for the artists, creators, that you see that are making a presence for themselves, you're going to miss out, because companies like Hulu, Netflix, all these show apps, that's where they're buying their content now, as indie creators, because they can't really get Marvel or DC. They got their own studios and shit like that. So they're searching that. So I mean, you never know when one of these indie guys, you might be flipping Netflix one day and go, "Holy shit, that's Psycho Sal on
That's
Netflix,"
cool. Right.
or that's
Or
Bill
yeah,
Ryder.
absolutely. I mean, it's already happened. Look what happened. Umbrella Academy,
Yep.
Lock and Key.
Something's killing the
I mean,
children.
Tank Girl. I mean, so many of these are comics that really didn't have a place and ended up there.
Yep.
Sharing
I mean,
it, or
I
just
think
creates
Cult of
more
Dracula.
interest for the indie community and just builds relationships more and creates more
Yep.
opportunities all around. Absolutely. So that's why 1 and 1 equals 3.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% true. The more you share, the more that, not only, it does two things. When you share your damn platform with someone else, it shows that community that you are thinking about people other than yourself, so that lets them know how you kind of are as a person, that you're not sitting here being selfish. Because the sad thing is, you go look at the majority of these big names out there, and I'm not trying to bash anybody, per se, but they don't share shit unless it's one of their buddy big names that they're blowing smoke up. That's the only time you don't see them sharing indie. You don't see them sharing other artists on their damn friends list unless it's some big name. And it should never be that way. You shouldn't be sharing someone just because they got clout, just because they're some well-known name. You should be sharing people because they're on your friends list and you want to see them succeed. And I'm not saying you got to share everything they do, because if you're busy, you can't babysit Facebook all the time,
right?
And that's okay.
Can I talk on this?
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that crazy Netflix show, Squid Game?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many times that guy pitched Squid Game script to major studios?
Yep.
12. He got 12 rejection letters before he got a yes.
Yep.
Where you're at, where I'm at, we're in the suck. You got to kind of embrace the suck,
yep.
Right? But the cool thing about embracing the suck is when you get past it, then you can look back and say, look what I did. Look at all the hard work I did. And then you'll be able to pay it forward. Find those people that are still in the suck and say like, hey, I did that and I'm here now. Here's the mistakes that I made. Maybe don't make them. Or like these are the things that are available to you. Like this community here, like you can go to this website and find writers and find artists and find editors and you know what I mean? Because there's that community and those resources that are out there. What are you saying? I like to try and Yeah.
You have to make the community about it. And like I said, when we talk about this stuff, we're not talking about somebody sharing something 24/7. We're not even talking about somebody sharing something every damn week. We drop a new cover maybe once a month, once every 2 months. We drop maybe a new Kickstarter every like 2 or 3 months, or give or take. Those life-changing moments in our industry, those are the ones that we would love to see people speaking of or sharing out. I mean, that's one of the reasons I brag like on Dawn Mateague so much. Dawn Mateague's a big name. She's a beautiful person, an incredible artist, but she still treats fans and other artists like they're part of her circle. I mean, I've had Dawn, comment on art that I've posted. I've had Dawn, chime in on discussions and things like that. That's one of the reasons I brag on Jim Lee. I mean, Jim Lee's the biggest in the world, in my opinion. But he still treats fans like they mean something. And I mean, so Jim Lee, the largest platform in the world you could have with a person. I mean, he does his Twitch shows where he sits and he talks to fans and he draws live. And every once in a while he'll do these draw along episodes. And I was lucky enough to catch one of the episodes one day. And there was about 1,000 people in the Twitch channel and lots of people drawing it. He was doing a step-by-step on drawing Supergirl. And I did it right there with him. And then a few days later, out of the 1,000 people in there, that may have been doing the project, he pulled 13 people and he shared it to his Instagram. Cool. And mine was one of the pieces.
So cool.
I mean, he didn't have to do that. So that's what blows my mind about these guys who have already made it out of the suck, and they've got the big name, they got the clout, but they don't bother to. Could you imagine if some of these big names just commented on a piece of art that myself or anyone else created as a new person and went, that's really good?
Yeah.
The
just the attention it would bring.
My God, dude. But they won't. Now they'll comment on their other buddies. They're the big names, but they'll never say shit to you. And that's heartbreaking.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It could be the algorithm again. Like, I don't know. It's like, maybe they don't even know I exist.
Like I can see you can turn, you can be that sweet thought part. I'm over here going, you've been on my damn friends list for 5 damn years and you ain't said shit ever. There ain't no way you ain't never seen nothing. So, but I'm just saying the impact that would have on someone with their their self-worth and their doubt and everything that we have on a daily basis doing this, the impact would be insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's anxiety driven at times. You know what I mean? Where I'll wake up in the morning, I gotta look at the Kickstarter. Like, why am I awake at 3 a.m. looking at a Kickstarter? Stop.
Yeah, it does. I mean, mine a lot of times I'm waking up, and that's what, like I said, and I'm not bashing what we do. I love it.
Right.
It's one of those things that I don't ever look at the clock. I don't ever worry about this trip or that trip. I have a blast on every one of them that I do. I enjoy the covers that I do. I enjoy the commission I do. Or is it long days and lonely days, et cetera, et cetera? Yes, of course. Is a lot of self-doubt and insecurities that can pop up? Oh, no doubt. Is there imposter syndrome that can pop up sometimes? Hell yeah.
You're talking to me right now. I did a video on my TikTok where I wrote all my negative thoughts on a pumpkin and then I just smashed the shit out of it. It was fun. But yeah, imposter syndrome for sure. Especially when you're like me and you're new and I don't belong here, but I do belong here. My story is great. Like people are enjoying what I'm doing. Like there's no reason for me to think that, but that's just how we see ourselves.
Yeah, it is. And then we have to deal with other people's drama. I don't comment on people's posts. I don't say shit on anything that anybody posts. And it's amazing how I still get pulled into people's junk. And, from, people trying to slander, like I tell people, don't ever listen to anything from hearsay. Always ask for proof, no matter who's telling you. Even if it was my mama, she's going to show me proof or I'm not listening. But I won't play that hearsay train. But we deal with that. We deal with the people when we post a piece of art that want to chime in. Oh, that sucks.
Okay, thank you. I mean, not everybody's gonna like me too. Like, I think I'm pretty likable, but I still get trolls, and I get a lot more from the martial art world. Okay, because as a woman and as an instructor, they're always, and it's the same thing with art too, I guess. Like, if you put something out there as a female, and this is interesting, that they will feel free to critique you, no matter what level you are, and they're just like. Usually martial arts are like, that won't work, or like, that wasn't tested correctly, or blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, I have a teacher. He's a world-renowned martial artist. If he's teaching me this, it's for a reason. So I'm only taking critique from him. Thank you. There you go. Move along. So it's like, I just don't understand why people feel the free to be like, blah, 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 Laurie. And I'm just like, delete.
I don't get it either. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I see art out there that has tons of flaws with it. I'm not going to chime in on who the hell am I to go tell someone what they need to be doing with their art. Like, I mean, I've had people send me messages telling me how I should run my business. Like, I mean, people. Yeah, I mean, so, I've had that. I've had other people chime in and say, hey, you should do it this way. I'm like, why do I need to change the way I'm doing it? It's successful. Like, and I don't mind, like, if I ask for feedback, by all means, I got thick skin. I can handle feedback. But if I'm not asking you, shut the fuck up.
I think that's what the internet is right now, is people are so comfortable behind their keyboard to just give any kind of advice. And like I say with my martial arts, it's like, if I'm putting a post up, it's just watch what I'm giving you and move along. It's like, it takes me a long time to even post something. This martial arts group that I'm in, I'm an admin in the group. Okay. There's crap ton of people in there. And I still don't want to post videos of myself because there's so many people and they're just going to critique. Yeah,
that's
not what this is for. And they even made a comment like, where are all the ladies in this group? No one's posting any videos. It's like, do you want to know why?
Because you're creepy. You know, that's why. You're creepy.
Right, I don't want them looking at me. That's why.
Yeah,
like,
don't get me
I
wrong.
my teacher knows my skill level. I don't need everybody telling me I'm doing stuff wrong or change your grip or, you know, move your feet a different way. Like, no, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody's got to chime in. And I, you know, I get that everybody has an opinion, but, you know, like I'll get it sometimes where you know, someone will talk shit on my art and then I look at their, yeah, there you go.
Oh man, please do. Why not? Give it to me, dude.
Yeah, I definitely learned from it. Yeah, I mean, you
slowly but surely, right? I mean, that's all you can do is learn and move forward. Hey, you guys want to watch some of the videos that I put together? The short
there we go.
Because I have the short films from the Camille, I don't know who you are, but I love you. This is awesome. It's like I'm flipping the table. The fight scene in my next in issue 2 that's printing. We flip some tables in there too. So
there you go.
Let me pull up some videos from my my YouTube. But so the first one we did is a commercial. Whoop. It's a commercial of, okay, so in my world, eventually what happens is the living and the dead get separated. So anytime someone passes, they pick them up and they ship them off to the undead retirement community, but no one really knows what it is or what it looks like, because once you go there, you don't come back, right? So I love the conspiracy theory aspect of it, where it's like, what really is the undead retirement community? I don't know. So that's what we're kind of tackling here. Is like white picket fences versus like riots and unrest and all of that. So let me put that here. Here you go. Enjoy.
When it comes to an inspired and privileged retirement, Pine Fox is where you want to be.
Of course, I love you.
Quality of life, peace of mind, harmony, it's all here. The setting is beautiful and peaceful. The atmosphere is lively and enriching. The amenities have something for everyone and every interest. At Pine Fox, your health and well-being is a top priority. Our community is growing and just waiting for you to join us. If making the most of your AD years matters to you, the choice is clear. Pine Fox.
Katie, time to come in.
Okay, Mom.
For more information, call 216-555-3323 or visit pinefox.com today.
Oh, wait. Kill this guy. He's dead. So that's the first one we did. I had such a fun time with that. Just my husband is the narrator, by the way. My husband, you'll see him a lot just because you know, he has done some acting and I always drag him into stuff. We did a welcome video for my last Kickstarter where I was like drinking in a bar talking to the screen and he like comes in and like shoves me off. And it was like his best day of his life ever when he got to shove me off this stool like 12 times in a row on film. But I'm gonna tell him he sounds like Nick Offerman because that would be funny. What's this? We don't want to mess with that HOA. No, you would not. They are yeah, we won't. We'll just,
I mean, in that right there, like people, that's another aspect of it that again, that most people don't do.
No,
and that takes time, it takes energy, it takes money, and it takes everything to do. And you're not doing it for anything other than just to have fun.
100% fun, because this isn't even like, it's not a stretch goal. It's none of the money from the Kickstarter goes to these things. I just do them because I want to, and I'm passionate about it. All of the money from the Kickstarter goes 100% to the comic book.
Yep.
Because I got artists to pay and they want to eat, you know?
Yeah, I want to do a photo shoot at some point where, and I need to find somebody. I need someone like, I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm what, right at 6'3", and you know, 260 pounds. I mean, I'm a big guy, but I want someone that's about, like, I'd like to find someone that's about like 6'5", that can don the Psycho Sal costume and everything, and with the mask and all that, and do like a proper photo shoot. I've got to start looking for somebody like that, because I want someone that's like, you know, like 6'4", 6'5", you know, that's like, you know, close to like, I don't know, 270, 300 pounds, something like that. Like just a big solid brick wall, you know?
We should do that. We could do like a whole on photo shoot. Yeah.
You're 6'5", there you go. And that's something else too. You know, obviously not this weekend, but next weekend I have to go to Midland, Texas, for Perma-Basin Con to do a Comic-Con appearance. But I'm going to be coming into the Dallas-Fort Worth area probably next Thursday, and staying the night, and then just traveling with Chris and everybody when they go Friday to Perma-Basin. I need to. If at all possible, if you guys are able to do it, it'd be really cool to try to maybe sit down with you and Chris, maybe that Thursday night or something, and I'll talk to Chris and see if make sure he's in town, where we might can sit down and just like 3-0 book 4 and 5 and 6 again, just to kind of reiterate some of those key points we were talking about and stuff like that, and get Chris's feedback on some of that too. And by then, hopefully he'll be read issue number 4, so I can get his feedback on that.
He read it yesterday.
Oh, did he? Okay, good.
He's already read it. Because I wanted to make sure, because like where he leaves off and then I pick up, there's some overlap, and I just want to make sure like I'm true to the characters, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like he crafts this scene at the end. I can't say anything else, but I wanted to visit that again. So again, it's like I wanted to make sure like I'm not missing anything or adding things that don't make sense to the story, at least for the stuff that he already built the lore, and then I take over and I just start going. So
yeah, because I think if I remember correctly, I think on this there's a small jump on issue number 3 to issue number 4, time jump, and I think it's about like maybe 3 or 4 months or something, I think is what it was, what we talked about. But there's a little bit of a time jump. It should be.
We'll talk later. That's not what we talked about.
I mean, it's not one of those things that like it's game changing. It's just it's just that time gap between this last victim and then this, you know, him setting his eyes on this new person. You know, it's definitely not something that's the next day. You know,
right.
But yeah, it should be a small time jump there, just to kind of move the story ahead a little. Yeah, just give me, like, as far as that's concerned, we'll talk tomorrow and see what you had on the story itself, since I haven't read it yet.
Right.
And let me see because it may be one of those things where it's just a word bubble, you know, it doesn't change the story. It's just, you know, like when you move from that overlap scene, when you move from what happened in issue 3 and you got that overlap section on issue 4, once you get to that one section, all it is, you know, 2 months.
Yeah, that would fix it right there.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. I just need something in there that says, you know, 2 months later or 3 months later, because there's always a, you know, there's about a month gap in between each book. But this one needs to be just a little bit longer. But all it is just that wording, you know, where you get past the overlap. And then you introduce Tony. It's just that one section right there where you go, you know, 2 months later or something like that, or you know, something just to kind of signify that it's been just a little bit longer.
Yes.
Because you know, when we get to that end part of those stories, for, you know, when that stuff with Tony, you know, we have that section where you know, there's going to be another.
Don't
Yeah.
spoil it.
Oh, I'm not, but there's going to be another section there where there's another small time jump that has some issues with it.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of play into that a little bit, but all it is just that wording of 1 month later, 2 months later, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, not a big deal.
Okay, cool. That fixes it then, because I didn't do the time jump, but it wouldn't matter.
It could have been
If
one
it
of those
was
things
there,
where
it
I
would just
said
be
it
like-
in my head. It could have been one of those things where I said it in my head and it just didn't come out.
It's like I didn't write it down, so it didn't.
Yeah, like I had the conversation.
You're like, I did say it in my head at least. It was
Yeah,
there.
trust me, I don't. That wouldn't shock me one bit. There's been plenty of times where I thought I said something and I probably didn't.
I know. It's like, don't pay attention to anything we just said because we just spoiled the entire.
Yeah, of course. The whole.
No, just kidding. We didn't spoil anything.
that 1 month, that 1 month jump spoiler just ruined the whole book.
I know. I was like,
So
and
now,
then you were like, and at the very end, I was like, stop.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
tell
I'm not
the
going too
people.
far with it. Now we got to stop. Now I just got to go back to doing TNA covers and stuff. So
No, stop. Here, we will distract them. No, you cannot tell everybody. Stop. Here, we will distract
Everybody
them right
knows
now. Ready?
you-
We're gonna
everybody
watch
knows
another
you
video.
can't
Ready?
read.
Here we go. Offerman.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Channel 13 WDED. I'm Lewis Landon. As you know, we've been following this crisis as it develops. And now we'd like to go live to Ellie Brock on location, talking to you, the viewer, on what you think caused this horrific crisis. Ellie, good evening. And how are you?
Hello, Lewis. How are you? I'm here on location today. We're going to walk the streets and see what people have to say. Hello. Thank you for joining me this afternoon.
You got it.
What do you think broke the death process?
The witches.
It's the cats.
If I had to pick one thing, it'd be the aliens.
Aliens.
Yes, aliens.
Where did they come from?
Outer space.
Why do you think the death process is broken?
I can tell you. It's that damn sugar.
That's a good question. And a lot of you are going to say the government. I know, in fact, most of you are going to say the government.
I think it's the government.
No comment. Do you want to talk about what you think broke the death process? Sure. Sir, do you have a second?
I just cried.
I'd like to ask you a question.
It has to be Anthony.
Crickets.
None of this is the reason death was broken.
I honestly think it's vaccines.
Vaccines.
What's causing the undead and what's causing the human form to turn into the undead. And it's not just death. If you think about it, this makes sense.
No comment.
Wait, are you saying we can't die?
I think it's the food that we eat.
It's in our candy.
I'm not answering no questions.
Is it even real? Like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not.
I bet it's the cats. I know it's the cats.
She hates
Everything's
cats.
genetically
Real.
processed now.
So GMOs.
Remember the pygmies? I think they're back.
No fucking comment.
It's the nanotech technology.
A pale horse, and he who sat upon it was death.
Can you elaborate?
Look, man, I don't know. Back off.
Maybe this is all just a really bad trip.
Then you people, I think you guys are all at fault. The media, the government, Big Pharma. You guys know who did this, and I won't stand for it.
No comment.
It's in our coffee. Can't die.
Well, I mean, your body dies. So where can people go to find this information? Google. That's what I think it is. Like specifically yogurt?
Not the yogurt.
It's in our drinks.
Can you be more specific?
No.
Is there a cure? I don't think so.
Honestly, I think there's a colony of pygmies, and I think they are out casting voodoo spells.
That blueberry.
You said the craziest thing you could
It's
think
in the
of.
brisket.
Yes.
It's in the barbecue.
brisket.
In the
All around
barbecue.
you. How many deaths do you hear about?
A lot right now.
So of course it was the witches. They're the smartest people in the world.
Skinny G. He must have given me some bad stuff.
You just said I don't die.
Your body does, but yeah, you stay in it while you decay.
It's sugar. Don't believe everything you hear.
It's absolutely organic.
Just the meat,
Barbecue
and the
biscuit.
water,
In the water.
and the vegetables.
That's the limits of life.
It's McDonald's. McDonald's broke death. And the reason I say that is if you think about it, their food don't actually burn. Their food was designed to be consumed by the dead. But see, if you take it, then you die. So it's the consumption of eating the food that only is made for that do not die. You get what I'm saying? It's McDonald's. Trust me, I'm telling you.
It's just a bad trip.
It's crazy. It's crazy stuff.
I'm gonna go rob a bank.
Okay.
Yeah, bullshit.
Oh my God.
I don't know why the dead don't fucking die. Look at me. Look at me. Put the phone.
And there you have it. We've spent all day asking people what they think. There's some truly wild accusations out there, and let me say, we really have no idea.
Go to commercial. Is she okay? Call 911.
That's awesome. You missed like a super important blame part.
Very important. All right, so that was the one we did for last campaign. So as you can see, we have fun. We do crazy stuff. And I used to choreograph fight scenes and stunts working for a production company in Detroit. So hence the car running over and stuff like that. So
yeah, I was saying you missed a great blaming target in that.
Who?
White men.
No, they were actually no, see, I didn't write any of that. It's fan interactive. So I was like, who wants to be in the short film? Think of a reason that you think that death would be broken. So they had like, it was a lot of food.
Yeah, it was good.
People thought food, because if it's happening everywhere, it's probably in our food and drink, right?
Yep.
Look at The Last of Us, where it's like flour, which is in everything. And that's how everybody got infected. So mine isn't necessarily an infection, but people could say whatever they wanted. So McDonald's, government, cats, they could cry the entire time. They said whatever they wanted, which made it so much fun because then we got crazy things like pygmies, like voodoo pygmies. And I was like, Chris, really? And he was like, yeah, voodoo pygmies. And I was just like, okay, it's going in. Like
that might be the voodoo stuff from Nolan's. You never know.
Yeah, there you go. It was like it's Psycho Sal. He went over and he crossed the line somewhere and broke death.
There you go.
You never know. So this next one we're doing is horror inspired. It won't be gory just because I don't have the special effects capabilities yet. But we are going to scare the pants off some people.
Nice. Yeah, I think it'll be a good book. Like I said, I'm super excited to do a cover for it, and I like the idea, the concept for the cover. So I think that one will be fun. I'll probably jump on that one in the next day or so.
Cool.
And try to get it knocked out so I can get it over to Dave for colors. And then you said yours goes live when? March 20th?
20th, yep.
So yeah, you guys make sure you all show up for that because the book's a really cool concept. And because the thing you guys got to remember is even though horror kind of revolves around a lot of the same genre, not genre, but the same tropes and things like that, it's about having a new take on it. Like the way we're doing Psycho Sal, changing up how serial killers have always been done and viewed and how they really are in real life. And then you have, this whole aspect with the Pale Rider and changing up, a little bit of how that story's been done before too. So.
Yeah, we kind of fit into that zombie genre, but it's not, you know what I mean? Where it's like, It's not brainless zombies that are trying to eat other people. Yeah. It's like, I model the undead after like, almost like dementia, you know what I mean? Where It's like they are themselves for a very short amount of time, and then they start to decay into violence or chaos or forgetfulness or whatever. However their brain is slowly becoming mush, they also become very unpredictable. And we deal with that as a human species, taking away rights, taking away like who gets to drive, who gets to own a house. And it's like, it creates all of these very ethical problems. Because it's like, for example, well, my husband and I own a house together, but like, if I were single and I was the only one that owned my house and I have 2 kids, what if I were to pass? Could they would take the house away? What happens to my kids when they come get me? What if it's the other way around? What if I'm living and one of my kids pass and they come to get them and they're little? You know what I mean? It's like, what are you going to do? So we tackle all of that kind of gray space. I point a spotlight on the human race and I show how ugly we can be. But of course, we have like these beacons of hope and determination, and like Jude and some of these other characters who just have perseverance and want to solve what happened. And I do answer the question. A lot of zombie tropes you get into and they're just like, oh, a thing happened and now they're zombies. But it's like, why? What? Or if it's a virus, how did it start? Where did it mutate? Like, who caught it? How did it, whatever. I answer the question in this first, like, it's like 13 issues. I answer it in 10. So it's not even like the very last one. I answer it in 10, and then you get to see what happens when Jude figures it out. And then it goes into like, this was a full-length movie when I wrote it, and I broke it up into issues to make it a comic book. So I come from like screenwriting, that kind of stuff. So I see them kind of as like Netflix series in my head. So 13 issues is like season 1, and then I have 12 issues for season 2, and there will be like a season 3, and then it ends. There is an end. Because you're not a good writer unless you can actually end something.
Yep, that's true. And that's something else that like we'll be playing into with Psycho Sal, and you'll start seeing it more along the issues of like 5 and 6, but especially like 6, 7. You'll start seeing how Psycho Sal's manipulation and the way he's done the city and the paranoia and fear that he's created. It also shows the kind of hateful side of people, because you get people are terrified of other people because they, like I said, he doesn't fit into any box. So, and he could literally be the person standing next to you in a grocery store. And
so then people panic.
Yeah, exactly.
You get out on each other.
Maybe somebody's walking down the street that's not bothering anybody, and they just happen to be walking down the street behind someone else, and that person freaks out and attacks them, or because they think their life is in danger. So it's that whole paranoia, because like the other thing we do with Psycho Sal is that separates him from a lot of other serial killers is normally serial killers, they have that hunting ground that they hunt in, and they're going for specific prey, certain hair color, or they're a certain sex, or they're a certain race, et cetera, et cetera. And with him not doing any of that and him going after anyone and everyone, it'll create that paranoia to a much larger scale, to where people that have to go out are scared to go out. So that's something I want to work into the later issues is where he starts seeing that, where he doesn't just snatch someone, he plays these mind games with them up until the point that he snatches them. But now, because of what he's doing, it's turned this whole city, to a degree on one another. So it's an even larger mind game for him. So,
you know what though, William, I hate to cut you off, but we're running out of time. I got like 2 minutes before I got to close up shop, because there's another show coming on after us.
No, it's no problem.
We could talk all night about what's coming for Psycho Sal. So we should definitely do more of these, buddy. You're welcome on my show anytime. We can do extra ones. I would love to just do some more of these while my campaign is live too.
Well, I've started doing mine again too. So I'm going to start trying to talk to people once a week. So as soon as yours kicks off, I'm going to have you on mine too, so you can talk about Nothing But Pale Rider and everything with that book and that Kickstarter. So yeah, like I told you earlier, I appreciate you having me on. It's definitely been a blast. I mean, getting to talk about the industry and the people in general is always a blessing. So it's always fun. I loved having you on. With, like I said, I was too excited to have to
wait to schedule you because I'm booked all the way out until like the end of April. And I was like, you were like, how about this week? And I'm like, let me see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, I appreciate you definitely making the effort because the rest of the month I'm slammed with the con appearances and travel. So I definitely appreciate you making time to do it this week.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
And thank you everybody for coming. Please look in that chat. We got lots of links in there. Max from Atrocity Press was here. Wait, here's the, how far back can I go? Here. So here's the link for Human Hunters. That's coming soon. That's issue 3. Here's Psycho Sal. If you guys haven't backed already, please go back. Amazing and kicking butt and live right now. So don't miss your opportunity for some of those tiers that are so you're crazy putting them that low, but we love you for that. And then of course here's Path of the Pale Rider, the pre-launch, so you can sign up to be notified upon launch. I have some like weird tiers that there's only 4 or 5 things available. So if you're really looking to get some of those collectible things, get there at the beginning because they're gonna go fast.
Yep.
I know those Big James Funko Pops are all gonna go like quick because I have Funko collector people in the group and they're only letting me do 5 from the sculptor. So get there. And we love you all. We love you all. Thanks for coming out on a Thursday evening instead of a Tuesday morning. And I look forward to hanging out with all of you again soon.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. You have a good night. Bye. Bye.